This is my Tern Vektron S10, and unfortunately the OCL, as it's called, the outside clamping latch, I think that stands for, has failed, which is kind of terrifying in a way, and that if it failed while you were recycling, it could be really bad news. Luckily, it didn't fail while I was riding it. I was unclamping it and noticed that this part, this little hexagonal pin, has snapped off, basically. This threaded part is an integral part of the pin, but it's broken at the where the thread joins. It's a stainless steel part, which I guess means it's not as tough, perhaps, as some steels, but nevertheless, it shouldn't have broken. That fits in here. There's a little toggle in here with a threaded hole, so it threads into there, and the other end just slides into this other cylindrical toggle, and there's a circlip on the end, which there should be. The circlip was actually missing, for one thing, as I and the thread had snapped off. Neither of those are good things, obviously, but this pin acts as an over-center toggle for the, let's just drop down now, over-center toggle for the latch. So as you close the main lever here, this part, as I say, is forced over center, and it helps to keep the joint closed tightly. And it is adjustable. So this end obviously just spins in this end, but the other end winds in and out. So effectively, this becomes shorter or longer to adjust the sort of stiffness of the toggle. Anyway, turns out that you can't just buy that pin. You need to buy a complete kit, which I've managed to find. They seem to be very difficult to find in the UK, but I found a place that sells them, CH White Cycles, and this arrived in less than 24 hours, and it's amazing and really good. But it contains the whole, well, it's of all wearing parts essentially in the OCL latch. So I don't actually need all of these in theory, but there again, it includes some plastic bushes. I'm not exactly sure where these go yet, but I'll work it out shortly. And obviously, the other part, this little clip that locks the whole thing, and various other bits. So I think I'm going to sort of refresh the whole latch, just on safety grounds, apart from anything else, and not just replace the hexagonal toggle pin. Right. This, by the way, this cost £46, so not cheap. But as I say, it is safety critical, and obviously the bike's useless without it. So you have to do what you have to do. So here's the parts again. I believe this latch is also fitted to the Dahon bikes, Dahon, which maybe explains why this is in Chinese as well. But it comes up as MBL 23005P. But as I say, I've found it under the Tern brand online, fortunately. So this pin needs to have an O-ring on it, the new O-ring, and then the circlip is here. This is the new circlip. So this is the new barrel for the moving part of the latch, which is larger diameter and shorter length. So that goes in there, and this pin with its O-ring, it's got some thread sealant on the end as well, which is obviously a good idea. That goes in there. I can adjust the length later. Right, so what else have I got? I've got this pin here, which is threaded at one end, not the other. I believe that fits in there, and there's a little grub screw here that holds the other end. and I have a replacement grub screw with some sealant on it, so I don't need to replace that strictly, but I will do anyway, seeing as I've got the full kit. Okay, this thread here is 1/4 inch UNEF, but it looks as if this 2mm Allen key fits this grub screw, which is kind of weird. I do have imperial sizes. The closest is 5/64, but this 2mm one does actually fit it better, so I'll stick with this. Right, there we go. So that's the old one. I'm trying to keep everything separate. The old stuff is in this tray. So I think that pin, you need to put a screw up the bottom end to pull it out, because it's a blind hole at this end, so there's nothing, you can't get above it. So I'll try and find something that fits that. Slightly strange, but this seems to be 4mm. The hole in this one, certainly. So maybe it is metric. Maybe this is a metric fine thread rather than a UNC one. Anyway, this seems to fit, so if I can get this in here. Okay, so this pin is pulling out. There we go. Yeah, so okay. So you need a 4mm screw to pull this pin out. This is the new one, by the way. So let's just stick that back in. Actually, before I do that, just have a look at this. Okay, so this is the safety latch. Not sure what that engages with. Must be here. So it's there, isn't it? A little recess there. This plastic, surprisingly, little latch can fit into. This is the new version, but it's yeah, pretty insubstantial or unsubstantial. Okay, so that fits in there, obviously, and there's the screw here, which comes through this part, and there's also a spring, such as this. But there's actually nothing wrong with that. But I guess I should replace it anyway. So 2.5mm Allen key fits this screw. So that's the old one. There's the old push button, and sure enough there's a spring in there. So yeah, taking the screw out, the spring has pushed this pin out. Okay, so I guess that must just lift out, or maybe it comes right out this hole here. Yeah, needs to come straight across and out of that hole. Yeah, I guess there is a very slight evidence of wear on that, but nothing significant. But I'll replace it anyway. Let's get the spring out. Likewise, the spring, that's unlikely to be worn, but that's the old one. This is the new one, which is the same length. So stick that back in. The new latch pin. These are available, by the way, quite readily, I found, on the various cycle websites. But the rest of the latch, just wasn't in the UK. I think it's around the wrong way. Let's just twist it 180 degrees. That's better. Push that back in against the spring. There we go. So yeah, there's the hole in the top there. So this latch needs to fit on like so. Again, there's a new screw, which is this one, which needs to find the hole in the plastic part. I've just gone back and checked the video, so I wasn't sure which way around this little knob goes, but the indent goes towards the hinge, which is what I thought was the case, but it's good to be able to check it. That's one of the reasons I video these things. Quite often need to look something up again. Okay, that seems okay. Right, so let's put this pin back in next. Try and make sure this is fully home, which it does seem to be. And then get this little grub screw in, which does have sealant on it already, so, or Loctite. Right, so that screw is in, and checking underneath, if you can see that the screw is all the way across the hole underneath the pin, as you can just see above the screw there. So that's good. Right, it's become apparent to me that this pin is for the other side, the main hinge, and I assume these bushes, it says 4 plastic bushes, 2 with a shoulder, top hat sort of shoulder, and 2 plain ones. So I say they obviously go on the other side, but checking the joint, there's no movement in it at all. So I'm going to leave that one, I think, for now at least. I'll obviously stay with the parts and put them in later if needs be. But I'm going to put this side back together. So I think the only other thing to do in that case is to put this barrel in, which fits onto there, and then the circlip on the other side, and we should be back to normal. If I can find something to push this up with. There we go. Right. So the next challenge is to get that circlip on without flicking it across the room. If I haven't already lost it anyway. Oh, there it is, yeah. Quite small, like very small, but pretty critical. I will try and get on with some pliers, I think, some long nose pliers. Okay, so here's the circlip on a pair of long nose pliers. See if I can get on there. Ah, that's pretty straightforward. Good. So that little O-ring just kind of buffers it against the these 2 parts of the frame, which I guess stops it rattling up and down vertically. So finally, I just need to wind this in, this X toggle pin, because at the moment this won't close at all. It needs to come right through this barrel here, I think. I think I probably had this done up too tight, and the toggle was too tight in an attempt to stop the squeaking of the joint, and that perhaps has overstressed this pin and caused it to break. I'll be wary of that again. It's just about coming through the barrel now. How are we doing? No, it's getting too far. But that latch is evidently working, so that's good. So I've gone too far, so I need to back out this way a bit. There we go, it's getting tight now. Yeah, it's kind of firm, maybe slightly more. Yeah, that thread is still fully through the barrel, so that's good. Yeah, I'd say that's about right. I can do it with one finger, just about, or one thumb, and it locks. Good, so I think that's operational again. I'll keep an eye on this other side, and obviously keep the extra parts, and swap that out. It includes a little rubber bung, by the way, which goes in the top of this hinge bit on this side, and I don't think I've ever had one of those. Either that or it dropped off very early on. So that's a bonus, I guess, that I've now got one of those rubber bung for the top of the hinge. Anyway, operational again, I think, so that's good. It's quite an expensive repair, but it had to be done. Thanks for watching.